obviously we've discussed many of these things already, but what are some of the key things that would identify this group clearly as a dangerous, high control, high demand cult group?
Yeah, so they kind of have like two identities, like an outward and inward. A lot of cults like kind of have that way. They hide their identity. They use different names, like I said. Their meeting places are secretive, and they'll say, "Oh, we're not like just try to Google or get on your maps and try to find one of their congregations. Have fun with that." They hide their church addresses. They're very secretive to family and friends. They'll tell you like, don't study, don't tell them that you're studying the Bible with that group. Like hide the name. Don't tell them you're going to meetings, kind of downplay it like that. They'll say, "Oh, Satan always works on those that are closest to you." Like a really good cult line, right? Like he'll just try to deceive you like that. They make it hard to get their literature. They have closed church services. You can't just walk in like you do the First Baptist Church, and show up. It's very secretive like that, controlled. If you showed up, you'd be asked to leave, one of their churches. They'd ask who you are, why you're there, just like the WMS, same story. They often, we're going to get to a great thing about lying in a second, but they definitely love to lie to make themselves fit in with you. They'll try to lie about their age, and they'll say, "Oh, I was born the same year as you," and even though they weren't, they lie about their interests and hobbies to build a bridge with you, to try to get you sucked in. They don't mention their controversial doctrines up front. Like, just like we're covering today, this pledge, like you pointed out, would they be open about telling you early in the class with a pledge? Would they, this quote I read you from Lee Manhee about, how you come to Jesus through him. Would they tell you that early in the group? That's what these groups do. They don't tell you things up front. And that's a big difference in Christianity because, we shout it from the rooftops. Our message never changes. And we don't just get you to that point where you start buying in like that. It's a radical different mindset. So their websites, they try to make them sound very, very Christian. They don't talk about controversial doctrines on the websites, even like their local churches. They'll pick like very Christian sounding names for the churches and their ministries. Para Cristo ministry, it's just incredible how they do that. They keep away from the controversial stuff. They draw. Go ahead. You're gonna say?
Oh, well, it's just the whole idea of things like the fact that if you want to be saved, you have to come through Lee Manhee. These are the sort of things that you would think, if they have the truth, if this is the way to be redeemed and restored to God, these are the sort of things they would want to openly publish on their website if it's true. But obviously, that's just an example of one of the things that's a foundational thing in this group. Salvation through Lee Manhee. They're not going to talk about these sort of things on their website, right?
No way. Not even in the classes till you're ready to hear about it. They lean into it. Yeah, it's pretty awful. So they hide a lot. This is like the most secretive group I've studied yet. And I know a lot of groups. They draw a very sharp line between them and everybody else, like we've talked about, like the Babylon churches, and they constantly repeat and reinforce to everybody that everyone else is Babylon. So they reinforce this us and them mentality. Right. And it's not a healthy way. Like as Christians, we don't walk around thinking, "Oh, you're Babylon, you're Satan." We look at people as beautiful, made in the image of God, and everything like that. We don't look at them, everybody as the enemy, but they keep on talking about that. So they insulate their members. I told you, like you can't look stuff up on the internet. No association with the churches of Babylon. No, or the false pastors or who are married to Satan, or the commentaries. Nothing but Shincheonji in their sources. And once you're in there, you don't kind of look outside, so it's kind of hard to crack that to kind of get out. But I think God wants you to test all things and take second looks, examine yourself to see whether you're in the faith, and they don't do that whatsoever. So when it's kind of like Scientology, it's like telling you not to go to a psychiatrist, and just do Dianetics. It's kind of like that way they become the solution, right, to everything, because you can't look it up. So like many cults, Shincheonji also has a really big persecution complex. And they'll feel persecuted if anyone says their doctrines are wrong and unbiblical. They'll often claim this, it's out of jealousy, which is a joke, because they're not growing like other ones. And as we'd say as Christians, newsflash, it's not just about it's because your doctrines are unbiblical and wrong. That's why we're speaking out against you.